Coffee break with me. Woo! Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. How are you today? Today I'm here with a talk through, get ready with me. There's gonna be no tea, no gossip, no chisme. I'm basically just gonna walk you through step-by-step process, how I get this look, why I do it. All right, you guys. The only reason I filmed this look is because so many of you guys left me comments, direct messaged me, tweeted me about this look that I posted on my Instagram. And everyone was like, oh my God, you look so pretty. What did you do? And I was like, that's like my emergency makeup look. It's what I do when I don't want to think about it. I just spot conceal, I do my brows, basic eyeshadow, tons of mascara, and a bold lip. So this is my go-to look when I want to do a hot pink lip, a bright red lip, a hot orange. Anytime I want to do like a crazy bold lip and I want to make sure that everything else is under control, this is the look that I do. It's actually a very easy look, and if you swap out this bold lip for something super simple like a tinted lip balm, it could be your back to school makeup, it could be your everyday work makeup, and you should be able to do it in 15 to 20 minutes. You should. Me on the other hand, squirrel. Anyway, so if you want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, primer, always primer. And you want to do a primer that you know for a fact makes your skin look better, whether it's pore filling, smoothing, like a lavender tinted one for sallowness. So you know your areas of weakness and you know your areas of strength. So you want to focus on that when you're picking your primer for this look in particular, because we're just going to spot conceal and we're not going to go in with a foundation. So we're kind of just flaunting our awesome skin by stacking the deck a little bit. So my go-to primer has always been the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I like it because it has a little bit of sun protection. It does even out some discoloration on the skin, and it does have a little bit of a blurring effect. But if you wanted to do a more glowy summer bronzy look, you could go in with like a pearlized or illuminating primer. If you suffer with the size of your pores, you can go in with a blurring in those areas. I just like to do one that's just an overall good primer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to think about it. This is kind of like my I don't want to think about it or bright lip makeup look. And it's funny because I didn't think you guys were going to ask me about it as much as you did on Instagram. So I got kind of excited because I was like, sure, I'll show you how to do that. I mean, it's pretty hard, but I mean, I'll try. You guys, it's such a piece of cake. This is what I always do. Like if I have a doctor's appointment or a meeting at, I don't know, somewhere with my son's school or whatever, this is like my go-to look. I'm not a big, I don't know what's going on that I went from a super duper full coverage foundation girl. I mean, go back, watch my videos. I was like a stay double wear, like that was my jam. Like that's all I wore is like full coverage stuff. Then I slowly went down to like medium coverage, and now I'm like, BB cream, spot conceal, sure. With primers, I kind of give them a little bit of time to hang out because I feel like there is sort of like a little drying period to them. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like if I let them dry or hang out before I go in with a concealer or foundation, they perform better. Maybe it's in my head. I don't know. We don't need to talk about it. So depending on the condition of my skin is how much concealer I end up using. So sometimes this part of this makeup look takes me 2 minutes. Other times it turns into a full face makeup look because of my skin. So I told you guys that I have been breaking out really bad in like the hormonal zones because of the birth control that I was put on. That makes it sound like I'm living my best life, but I'm not. Anyway, so it really depends on the current state of my face or my panda eyes. So my go-to concealer for this type of look has been the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I have it in 3 shades because I'm tan. Who's keeping time notes? Who's keeping time stamps? Who's the minute keeper? Because I'm tan, you see the color of my face and then look at the color of my shoulders. Like, I'm a rainbow right now, y'all. I'm a rainbow, 40 different colors. So I just open my little pots. I put them in front of me like Bob Ross. And I just go in with my little brush. Try to think of things he would say in his videos. So I'm gonna go in with Biscuit And we're gonna take a little dab of a biscuit. Hide it in the happy trees. So biscuit is the darkest shade that I have right now, and that's kind of what I use as my salmon shade. And I haven't been sleeping very well lately, for good reasons. Wow, that sounded awful. No, that's not what I meant. Cochinas. No, I mean, I haven't. I should just crop this out and start all over. But you know what? I'm not, because I don't care. The reason I haven't been sleeping well is because I haven't been sleeping. Like, there's other things that have preoccupied my time, so I just stay up later and wake up earlier. You know, I should have probably said that first. I'm nervous now. I'm getting sweaty. Okay, so that's the darkest shade right there. Then I'm gonna go in with the in-between, which is ginger. I don't think I'm gonna use the lightest because it's not happening. Ginger, and this is the one that you're gonna do on the majority of your face or your areas of concern. For me, it's this area right here. So like, I pretend I have little triangles and I do it there. I do around my chin, and then like these 3 spots there. And then like the 72 spots that I have right here. I promise it looks good when we get to it. So again, like, I pretend I have a little triangle right here, right? Like this area. Do you see that? Right there. It's my little triangle. Then I go to the other side, same thing. And you can use a kabuki brush or like a buffing brush, or you could use a damp beauty blender, or you could continue to use your little brush. I use this brush because, first of all, it's awesome. It's the Zoeva 142, but I also use it because it helps me get my product out of this little pot without putting my finger in there. And depending on the length of my nails, sometimes it can be unpleasant, you know? Also, you know what I was thinking the other day is, basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a makeup look with a cream product or a cream foundation. NARS needs to do this as a cream foundation. Why haven't they done that? I would buy it for sure, and I'm pretty sure they can increase the price. But yeah, I would totally use this as a foundation. It's very, very similar to the Hourglass Vanish whatever stick foundation. I actually went to get my updated shade, you guys. As per usual, I went to the gross Sephora, and the one they sold me was used. I don't know why I keep trying, you guys. Honestly, I went in to get color matched because I didn't want to think about it on my own. I was like, just lay there and just let them do the work, you know? Just color match me. And of course, the one that I brought home was the only one they had there on display, and it was used. So that was unsettling. Anyway, so the formula of this is very similar to the formula of this. This, I think, is a little bit more full coverage. So if you didn't want to use a tiny little potted product like this, because obviously the price point is a lot more in a tiny size like this than in this, then you could go in with the cream product. So what you would do then, in that case, is take your product and the same thing. So you would apply it to your areas of concern. See how light this color is for me? And then underneath your eyes, maybe a little bit here, just so your forehead isn't shiny. And then I totally just messed up the whole point of what this tutorial was, but you get what I'm saying, right? So you're just gonna spot conceal, and then you take a buffing brush. Ideally, you want to take a buffing brush if you're comfortable using a kabuki type brush, because it does a really good job at blending it in very seamlessly, especially since you're only going in with product in certain places. So you want to make sure there's no demarcation where you didn't apply concealer, because then it'll be like, did you run out of product? Did you get ready in the dark? So I go in with this one. This is the best kabuki brush I have ever used in my entire life. I'm a sponge girl all the way for the rest of my life. I will always be a sponge girl, but if beauty blenders died and they no longer existed, this would easily take its place. It's the best kabuki brush I've ever used in my life. I will link it down below. It's very expensive, but it's worth every single penny. They could double the price, I'd still pay for it. It's so good. The only problem is it takes like 7 years to dry, but you know. All right, guys, I'm totally giving away my age, but this tutorial requires really good lighting, so I'm gonna need to use my mirror here. I just turned on the light. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing to my face right now. I'm using so little product that I don't even know where it's at. Okay, so check your face, See if you've covered what you desire to cover. So you could still see a little bit of the discoloration that I have on my skin from previous hormonal breakouts. But that's what skin looks like, right? So I'm not gonna go in super ham sandwich on there when everything else looks like actual skin. Now what you're gonna do is figure out if you wanna use a sheer lightweight concealer to highlight certain areas of your face. I don't usually, but I will today just for kicks and giggles. Yeah, substituted a word. And so I'm gonna go in with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in the shade Macadamia, because I'm tan. And then I'm just gonna apply it to the darkest areas of my under eye. And the cool thing is that you can actually use that same brush that I've been bragging about. You know what I feel like I should do? I should do like this giveaway where I just give away 10 of these brushes. That's how much I love them. Like I want everyone to have this brush in their collection. I will say this though, this brush does not like product to be put on it. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't like you to do this and then do this. It likes the product to be on your face and then it just goes in. I go in with this brush very lightly, gently. I mean, as gently as I can, because y'all know I'm incapable of gentle. And then I just kind of bump it and I bring it up and it actually works as like an eyelid primer. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you guys, this look is like no fuss, no muss. I'm pretty sure I already filmed this video maybe like a month ago. And now we're just renaming it. How to do a bright lip. Whatever. You know what? If you guys ask me for stuff on Instagram, and so many of you do, I'm going to do it even if I did it last month. Because that means you missed it or YouTube was being a brat. And so I'm just gonna give you guys what you're requesting. So that's why we're doing this video right now. Okay, I do have a damp beauty blender in the neighborhood that I'm gonna use for powder. But if you notice that the darkness of your under eye is still peeking through, you probably wanna go in with a little bit more finesse to really blend out that concealer, because there's not enough donuts and prayer in this world to help you out with these panda eyes. And I like how I'm talking to you guys, but I'm really just talking about myself. All right, this part is where you have options. This is how you're gonna determine how much coverage you want. If you want additional coverage to what you've done to your face already, you go in and you bump a powder foundation with a damp beauty blender or with a big fluffy like bronzer type brush. If you want additional coverage or if you have very oily skin, right? If you don't want additional coverage and you want glowy, like that glowy look, just go in with a very loose, fluffy powder brush and just kind of fluff that on your face, just really lightly. That's just gonna set the concealer, but it's not gonna give you any additional coverage and you'll be dewy in no time. Now, if you're like me, where you're somewhere in between, where you don't want extra coverage, but you also don't want that slide in around your face because you need it to hold up for a little bit, you can go in with a blurring powder, a translucent powder, any powder that doesn't have color, even though this one's making me look untan. Go in with a colorless powder or a blurring powder. And you can either use a powder brush or you can use a damp sponge like I'm using. And I like to use a damp sponge because it really clings on to all the spots where you have the concealer. And it does a very good job of just creating sort of like an even canvas with the concealer places and the naked face places. So it does a really good job of just doing like one even layer of prettiness. I promise this is gonna look pretty. I promise. All right, because my hair is like, I would say 67 different colors right now, I like to go in with 2 shades of brow pencil. Let's be honest. Anytime I can be extra, we take advantage. And it's very rare that I'll use just one color of eyebrow pencil. Very, very rare. I like to use 2. I've always liked to use 2 just because it gives you more dimension. Especially me with my microblading. I feel like I can go out barefaced and I love the way my brows look, but if I'm gonna go through the trouble of putting on makeup, I want them to stand out, and they stand out really nicely with 2 shades. A darker shade on the bottom and then a lighter shade throughout. So I'm gonna go in with like a medium brown on the bottom to sort of outline my brow. So I start where the beginning of my eye is usually like my starting point. And I also have a little bit left of microblading right there. And then I go straight up, just straight, no curve, nothing, straight up. And then drag it down to the tail, like that. Do you see the difference? So it's not very intense, but there's a lot more definition. Then I'll go in about towards the end of the brow, about here. Same thing, straight back and down. And I fill in the tail end of my brow with the darker shade. Then I'll do the same thing on this eye. Start again where your eye begins. Carry that color straight up. Drag it down to the end of your tail. And then we'll go in halfway, about halfway where the brow is. Straight back. And then carry it down, fill in the tail end of your brow. You kind of give yourself a glance, you're like, you're a little crooked, then you're doing it right. Sometimes, depending on how I'm doing my makeup, I'll go in with a few strokes of the darker shade at the front. Don't worry, we blend it out. So this is kind of like dropping color, and then we kind of go in and blend it out. Like that. And then go with the lighter shade. This is my $1 e.l.f. pencil. I think it's $2 actually, in taupe. And that you're gonna run through all the places that you did not touch. The final step of the brows is what's most important. That's what takes you from looking groucho to looking fly. So we're gonna go in, we fill in the parts that we did not touch with the brow pencil. Why do my brows look so crooked today? Okay, and this is the part I was telling you. This is the most important. Right now I look like Groucho. I look like I got my brows microbladed 2 days ago. So you go in with a spoolie or whatever brow brush you feel comfortable with that actually drags color and product off your brows. And so what I like to do is I start at the front end of my brow and I slowly start brushing up. So what it does is it sort of removes a little bit of the pigment. It also evens it out, and it gives you some little hair-like strokes in there. Gives you more definition. So the reason we went in with 2 different colors is for dimension, right? So again, front of the brow, upward strokes, brush it out. Now clear brow gel, that's also going to lift a little bit of the color as well. So I go into the front of my brow, do upward strokes, sort of sideways strokes. I'll show you guys the other brow as well. So we're gonna go upward strokes, up and a little bit over. It really depends on the direction that your brow hair grows. Like mine doesn't like to be told how to live its life. So I really gotta get in there and like aggressively brush it out. And then on the tail part, I kind of brush out, and then I go at the top part and brush down. So I'll brush it up and then down. It also helps lighten them just a little bit so they're not as intense. And there you have the completed look. Just kidding. Okay, the eyeshadow portion is the most important. I think this is the key component when you're doing an eyeshadow look for a really bold lip. So this look is for the bright orange lip, the hot pink lip, the bright cherry red lip. You want to do something that creates definition on your eyes, but isn't really distinguishable. It's not a smoky eye, it's not a coral or emerald or, you know, whatever. It just blends. So the colors that I use are probably going to be different from the colors that you use, but I'll give you sort of like a baseline so that you can create your own personalized look. So of course, like any and all things, you go in with a brow bone highlight. I would recommend a matte vanilla shade or a matte nude shade depending on your skin tone. Today I'm going to use Breakaway from the Born to Run palette. That's this color here. It does have a little bit of shimmer, so it's not a flat vanilla or a flat or a matte, you know, light shade. But it is summer and we are doing a fun lip color, so I thought, why not? So you want to decide, you know, do you want to be a little extra, or do you just want to use the good old reliable matte vanilla shade? Y'all, it's always a good day to be extra, right? So that's the first step. The next step is you probably want to apply extra powder to your face because, I mean, at least I do. Kind of messy. You'll know I'm messy. Okay, we're gonna take a flat eyeshadow brush. Any flat brush. You could even use your finger. You could use an eyeliner pencil, and you're going to take a dark color. A dark brown, a dark gray, just a dark color. The littlest bit on the very tip, cochinas. I'm going to take, let's do punk. That's that color there. You take the littlest bit on the very tip of the brush, and you're going to concentrate that right on the lash line. See what I'm doing? Just arbitrarily running it across the base of your lashes. If you have anything left, you could carry it up. Almost like if you were doing like a shadowed wing. See what I'm doing? Got that? You see that? We'll do the same on the other eye. So again, the very tip of the brush. Apply it to the base of your lashes. Bring it in, carry it out. Blend, blend, blend. Give yourself a little faux wing. You're basically just trying to remove the color off the brush. All the color you put on there, you're trying to make sure it transfers to your face. Dani, that looks so messy. Oh girl, I know. No need to remind me. Okay, then we're gonna go in with a blending brush, just a regular size blending brush, and the color that I'm gonna use is Riff. That's this color here. And that is going to be our crease color, but we're going to overlap the colors. So I like to start here, and then I kind of just push the color up. And I'm kind of like blending as I'm pushing because I want to soften that dark brown. What was it called? Punk. I should know that. It's one of my favorite Urban Decay colors. Can't tell you how many times they've re-promoted that color. Same thing on the other side. Overlap your shades, buff and blend, buff and blend, buff and blend. This is kind of a layering process. So you're just gonna go back and forth until the colors are nicely blended. You don't want demarcation lines, you don't want intense color. So we're putting on more color and then we kind of blend it away a little bit because all we're trying to do is create definition on the eyes without, like I said, any sort of, hey, I'm declaring a smoky eye. You know what I mean? So then I'm gonna go in with Weekender, that's this color here, a bigger blending brush. And then we're just gonna go over completely everything that we've put on. So focus on the outer edge, run it over your crease. This is essentially your transition shade. So you can be as arbitrary as you want. Same thing on the other side. So I like to start at the crease and then I go back and forth in windshield wiper motions, but then I kind of carry it down and then bring it back up. So I'm almost like, you know, like a little kid when they go through like their blue phase or their green phase. So all they do is they'll take like a green crayon and they color green on everything. That's kind of what we're doing right now. This is our green phase and we're just gonna take that same color crayon and we're gonna run it all over the surface of our eyeball. So you're like, all that work for this? Oh yeah, basically. Okay, take a brush, dust off any excess, and we are going to pick whatever color we want to apply on the lower lash line. This is also a really cool eyeshadow look if you are scared to try a pop of color. So if you've been wanting to do like a bright cobalt blue pop of color on the lower lash line, this is great because it's not going to add too much color. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna add too much drama to your look. You can feel free to go in with like a bright emerald or a cobalt blue or even like a really beautiful amethyst or purple on the lower lash line, and that's gonna be the star of the show. Your eyes at the top will look done, they will look defined, but they won't add too much extraness to whatever you already have going on. So whenever you wanna do something bold and colorful, this is a really good base. Now, for the lower lash line, go back to your flat shader brush. I'm gonna go in with, let's start with Weekender. That's the lightest color, the one that we used as our green crayon. And we're gonna run that just arbitrarily on the lower lash line, like that. Now we're not going to use eyeliner, so we want to take advantage of definition with darker shadows as much as we can. Now I'm going to go in with, let's do Riff, the same color that we used in the crease, and we'll apply that closer to the lash line. Same on the other side. And then take the lightest tap of Punk. That's the one that we used right at the base of our top lashes. And that's what we're gonna run as close, I mean, inside your eyeball if possible. Another little tap. You'll probably be able to see this eye better. Start on the outside. And bring it in. I like the top of my top lashes to be a little bit more intense. So I'm going to take the lightest tap of Punk. I'm going to start at the edge and I'm going to just kind of blend gently just to make it a little bit deeper. I don't know if you guys can see that subtle difference between this and this. It almost looks like I'm wearing eyeliner. I like to do it. I feel like it makes a difference. You might be like, whoa, Dani, I have 5 minutes to get ready in the morning. You need to relax. I respect that. But for now, since we're already here, we're already all together, let's just be extra together. Because this look is very simple, you want to be as extra as you can with your lashes, whether you want to do false lashes or you want to do your mascara cocktail where you use 72 different mascaras. This is your opportunity to shine. So I'm gonna jump off camera. I'm gonna use my favorite combo. This has been my favorite combo for like the last year. It's Rimmel Lash Accelerator and Maybelline Lash Temptation. I'm gonna layer these two and I'll be right back. Surprise! What a difference a little mascara and blow dryer and curling iron and bra make. Okay, let's finish off this look. The first thing I'm gonna do is apply bronzer. And bronzer, excuse me while I dim this mirror, bronzer wasn't really my jam until I got a tan. And now it's really hard to color match. Even if I go into the store and I'm like, get my current color match, my complexion is just changing. It never stays the same. So bronzer has become my best friend for anything that I do. So I'm gonna go in with my favorite bronzer ever, and that's the Bronze and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury. You guys, I'm so nervous. I have my brand new one on standby just so it's ready, because I know I'm gonna drop it one of these days. I'm just gonna drop it, it's gonna die, and I'm gonna be very sad. So what I'm gonna do is I take a big brush like this one, and I kind of pinch it down a little bit, and I apply it like if I was contouring, but I'm bronzing at the same time because I'm lazy. So starting here, bring it down. Do you see that? Do you see the difference? Nothing, bronzer. Nothing, bronzer. Nothing, bronzer. This is a neat, no, I should just stop. All right, so we're gonna do that. And then we bring the same brush up this way. And this way. I'll show you guys the side by side in just a second. Okay, so I bronzed this side of the face. I didn't do anything to this side. So it's a very subtle difference, but it makes a difference. It's totally worth the effort, you guys. So find a bronzer that you like that's like contour and bronzing friendly, not too orange, but also not too grayish taupe, so that it's kind of your friend. And then again, you go in almost like if you were contouring, but you're bronzing at the same time, killing two birds with one stone. And if you're in between foundation shades right now, I'm telling you, it's gonna save you a lot of time and money. When it comes down to blush, I always reach for like a peachy nude, especially because I tend to reach for warm shadows when I do this type of look. And so my favorite color for that is the Papa Don't Peach by Too Faced. It's like a shimmering mauvey peach shade, and I like to concentrate that on sort of the backside of my cheekbones, and then I bring it towards the apples, but not too much. So it's really more of like a bronzy look as opposed to a blush look. Same thing on this side, towards the back of your cheek, and then bring it forward slightly. All right, because our lips are going to be so extra, I'm just going to go in with the highlighter in here, which there's been some controversy around because I have mentioned before that I don't like it. Now, when I say I don't like it, obviously I'm being hyperbolic. If you guys have been around here for a while, I tend to be a little dramatic with my expressions. So I like it. It's a great highlighter for a natural glow. The way that highlighter is intended to look. So you guys know I like to be extra. And I like chunks of glitter in my highlighter. So this one's very subtle, like it's a very delicate, a very real looking highlighter, which is the way it's supposed to look. I can't stress that enough. I'm like, oh, you know when people say, oh, well, you have warm undertones, so you shouldn't use blue eyeshadow. And you're like, but I like blue eyeshadow. I want to use it. It's kind of like that. Like, I'm like, I know what highlighter is supposed to be, but I still want to use it the way that I like it. It's kind of one of those things where you just put your foot down and if it's what you like, then just go for it, you know? Clearly, I need some hairspray for this situation here. So we did highlighter on the highest points of our cheekbones, and you could tell it's a very natural glow. There's no chunky glitter in this highlighter. There's no unicorns trampling across my face, which is the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes if you're feeling a little cute, you can take some of that highlighter as well and pop that into like the inner corner of your eyeball, since our eyes are already pretty matte. You don't have to either. This is like one of those looks where you just have a base and then you just go from there, you know? Okay, so our entire face is done. Now it's time for the lip portion. I told you guys, this is my go-to look when I am itching to do a super bold, bright look. My favorite shades are MAC Cherry, which is what I showed you guys in that picture. I'll show you guys again. It's just a lip liner all over my lips. Another one of my favorites is MAC Morange, I don't know why I say it like if it was French. It's a made-up word. It's just a bright, electric orange. Love this color. Today I'm feeling a little hot pinky. So one of my favorite colors of all time has always been Schiap from NARS. Before we do that, I'm gonna go in with whatever foundation is left over on my brush to just create a smooth canvas, no color. So all the color that you're gonna see is what comes off of the, who's getting irrational rage from my baby hairs? Because I am. I'm getting a little ragey with this situation here. I'm gonna need to get some Aquanet here. I think that's the only thing strong enough to hold them down. And there we have it, the completed look. So regardless of what lip color you want to do, if you want to go to the boldest orange or the hottest pink or the deepest red, or you could even do like the deepest, vampiest lip ever, this is a really easy recipe to follow so that you can interchange that lip color as much as you want. If you're not into the bold lip, it doesn't matter. You could also do a nude lip, and it's a great look for work, back to school, I don't know, college students, your first job. It's a really simple look that's going to cover all your bases. It's gonna smooth out your skin. It's gonna make you look flawless. You're gonna have the gentle contours, like if you had contoured or bronzed really well. This all should come together in 15 minutes or less. Should. For purposes of this video, we made it 45 minutes, just for effect. But like any and all videos, I will list and link all the products that I used in the description box below, including a list of a few of my favorite bold lips, from my favorite Vampy to my favorite hot pink, hot orange, cherry red from MAC. But I think that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you so much, and you know what to do. If you found this video useful, entertaining, and learned something, send me some hairspray. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye, guys!